100 years old and they still had roommates. The magic kind of wears off.
Nandor might be having a midlife crisis. But he's immortal, so it'd be more like a crisis. Nandor's in crisis.
Farewell! Auf Wiedersehen! Good night, Seattle, and good mental health!
See ya. I get his room.
For years, I have single-handedly held this house together. You mock me. You disrespect me. You contradict me.
No, we don't.
I am sick and tired of being sick and tired. It's time for me to take a super slumber.
No. A super slumber?
It is basically a vampire hibernation.
Let go of my head.
Don't do business like this, Colin, come on.
Don't sing if you want to live long. They have no use for your song. You're dead, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead and out of this world.
You're listening to League Podcast, the Vampire Council. I'm Matt Dursin.
I can hear you, Clem Fandango. I'm sorry, I'm Clem Inferno.
Okay, we're gonna do season 3, episode. What is it? 7 and 8, right? Or is it 8 and 9? Wait a minute, 7 and 8, I think. I don't even know what number these episodes are, but anyways. Oh, it is. It's 8 and 9.
8 and 9. Get it right.
Sorry, the Wellness Center and A Farewell. The two latest episodes to, be broadcast. And if you just watch them on, if you stream them or if you're streaming the whole season, it's 8 and 9. And 9, of course, we always have to mention this, is the penultimate
episode. It went by so quickly.
It really did. My God. Wow.
And not a Sam in sight. So we're going to have to be like, let's do the finale with Sam. Fingers crossed. Everybody pray to your vampire gods that we'll get Sam on the finale episode.
Yeah. Thanks to Evan for coming on last week. That was cool.
That was a lot of fun.
Go check out his podcast as well, and check out our podcast. Check out last week's.
Check out our James Bond episode. Check out the Mummy episode for Halloween.
Oh yeah, we just posted that, so check that out.
I felt like that was sometimes. I don't like to do this all the time, but if we do a horror movie, I pop it in the Facebook group. Thanks to you for listening to us through the Facebook group.
Yeah, the Vampire Council Facebook group. So check it all out. Check it all out.
We dupe people to join that group so we can push our other dumb podcasts on them.
Hey, nobody listens to that one, so at least a few people listen to this one.
That's right. So welcome everyone.
Welcome. All right. So at the beginning, this is as we were saying off the air. This is almost like a two-parter. Like how shows sometimes do that. It's like a 2-part episode.
Right. To be continued.
Yeah. So, but Nandor at the beginning,
will return in.
At the beginning of this one, Nandor he's celebrating his 700. Is it the 700? No, he's 700 years old. It's just the anniversary.
His ascension to power.
Yes.
As this great leader in the whatever country he's in.
Right. As becoming Nandor the Relentless. So yeah, like him becoming a warlord.
Party. Yeah.
Yeah. Colin Robinson's going to belly dance for him.
They kind of go all out.
Yeah. But he's not having it. Nandor he's having what they say an eternal life crisis.
Yeah, he's kind of a little bit emo and kind of a little bit like, I saw one reviewer say that it's kind of like the ennui that people are like feeling at work and stuff now, or they've been working like Zooming from home for work and they're like, oh, what am I doing here? What is the point of all this?
Well, he does say he's 700 years old and he still has roommates, which is a pretty funny, funny line.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, he's just not feeling his life. And earlier in the season, he was trying to find love and stuff, and Gail was Gail the
and Meg at the gym.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah. So like there was that stuff, and I like how they didn't just go him having like bad dates or bad relationships the entire season. Like he's going through different sorts of
Yeah,
things.
and also Colin Robinson explains to him like how infinitely small he is in the universe with
Right.
math.
When they were at Atlantic City.
But we're on a turtle. But yeah, so he's like pretty like his mind is he's like a college kid that like goes to college freshman year. Like somebody's like, you need to smoke pot and watch Cosmos with Carl Sagan, and then it blows his mind, and it's all he can think about for months. I'm not saying this from any experience or anything.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's kind of just like he's kind of having that moment of just what am I doing with my life? As that we all have at some point.
Yeah, even So Guillermo says maybe he's having a midlife crisis, but yeah, I mean, he's immortal, so I guess it's just a crisis. He's in crisis.
Right. But Laszlo and Nadia are sort of like they'd say vampire depression is a real deal. Like, and it's apparently it's a thing that happens. It's a thing.
Yeah, because they stare into the empty void of forever, being alive forever, and really bums them out.
I know, apparently they it's kind of like.
And then Nadia's like, yeah, that you just gotta stay away from them when they're like that. And she's like hanging out with Doll Nadia. They're like having a good time in the parlor, like playing and stuff and giggling. And they're like, they both get up when Nandor walks in. Like, oh, Nandor, we're gonna go do something else. They don't even say.
They just leave him alone.
Just try to leave him alone. Like, like Laszlo like walks away from him too.
Yeah. So, yeah, like he goes out and he finds this. I can't even remember the name of it. The post chiropteran wellness center. I guess I'm probably not pronouncing that right.
Well, it's because but the reason that he goes out there in the first place is because they're kind of doing that thing where if you have like a roommate that's bummed out and you're like trying to cheer him up, like let's go, come on pal, or let's go to the movies or something. It's like,
forget your troubles.
Like why don't you it reminds me of I've told the story before. I was listening to that band live and it's like to love God.
Yeah.
I don't love you. And my mom was like, are you bummed out, son? And I was like, yeah, I'm really depressed. Girlfriend broke up with me. She's like, why don't you listen to some music that's a little bit more upbeat? I'll never forget that because it was exactly what I needed to hear at the time. Plus, it's a hilarious story. It's like,
it is.
Yeah, because we're like 90s, like grunge flannel. That was our thing. That was our shit back then.
Sure, the early 90s. Those bands. Well, I guess, yeah.
But yeah, they're like not just like go collect these dues from the Vampire-Council because. Oh
right. Yes, that is the raison d'être.
Kind of like how to get him out of the house.
Right, take his mind off.
His mind off of.
But when he shows up, like they're doing this. It's this wellness center run by Jan, who I love. I mean, all his paramours have like this Gail, Meg, Jan. Like they have the most boring names.
Right.
But so it's like this sort of like Jane Fonda workout thing going on.
What I like about it is they have the neon sign in the back that you see like people use on flyers and stuff like all the time now. But it's like if you look at it, it looks like it's like Tron or whatever, but like they're looking at a sun because they can't really look at a real sun. They're looking at like a neon sun at night. Like it's like, what motivates us is, stretching and exercising and blah blah blah.
Well, yeah, so they're all vampires, but Jan is saying like you can become human. Like we're gonna become human again. But they reveal pretty much right away. So Nandor goes in to collect the dues, And she says, "Oh, do you want some water?" And he's like, "Well, I can't drink that." So she drinks the water and then goes out into the hall and spits it right out. So like we know right away that she's full of shit. It's so funny. Because like they can't drink anything, they can't eat
Right.
anything. But she's like, "Oh, you'll be able to do that."
She's like, don't connect to the brother printer. You don't use Bonjour printing. Excuse me a second. Pretends to go deal with the office space kind of
Yeah,
thing
like
and just
printing
pukes the
thing.
water.
That she just
And then
spits the water.
Nandor,
out.
yeah, like exposition is like, as you well know, as a vampire, I cannot eat or drink.
Yeah, I know. I love that.
Looking right at the camera.
Right. It's just hilarious. I mean, yeah, because they reveal right away that none of this is and they pull their teeth out all the time. Like, oh, they're all pulling their fangs out, whatever.
Yeah, because he's like,
Ugh.
and at first it doesn't faze him. He's just kind of like, that's very disturbing that you guys are pulling your fangs out. But anyways, you haven't paid your dues in 132 years. Pay up.
But then, like, he eventually, not even eventually, like pretty quickly, I guess he gets taken in, like, and he's into it because he's all vulnerable and everything,
Yeah,
and
he's kind of doesn't. Yeah, he wants to change. He's like, what am I doing with my life? So, yeah, these people seem cool.
yeah, and he's wearing the outfits, like the James Fonda outfit with the headband. His hairstyle is completely like ridiculous. Everything.
It's so funny.
And he goes all in, and he just leaves.
And they keep singing
the
that
house.
That Bare Naked Lady song all together.
Oh.
It's been 5 weeks.
1 week since you looked at me. Yeah, he like sings the whole song. Oh my god, that is hilarious. Of all like the lame white person songs,
that is the ultimate one. Like there's a couple that are pretty standard, but that is the ultimate one. Like another one would be like, I guess like All Star by Smash Mouth or something.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. I couldn't think of the name of it. I was like, what is that song? I was singing in my head, and I was like, oh yeah, that's. But you got it first. But yeah, totally. Though that
plus,
kind
Bare
of
Naked
song.
Ladies are Canadian.
Yes, they are.
And you know, that's all that needs to be said there. If you're listening in Canada, just kidding. We love you, Canada.
Love you. We love you up there, Canada.
Can I move up there, please?
Yeah, seriously.
Although it's colder there. I want to move someplace colder. That doesn't make any sense.
It's hard to get colder than it is today here in Massachusetts. But anyway, so like he just leaves the house and he goes all in with Jan. And then like when they come back, actually it's great because like they go to commercial or whatever, they go back and like they're showing him there. And I love she says, "Oh, we're fucking." It's my favorite. Yeah. Jan is so hilarious. I've never seen this actress. Cree Summer is her name, but
she was really great. And
she's like a voice actress or something. Yeah.
A little bit before like when he leaves the house, he's saying like he's renouncing being a vampire completely. He's gonna go pretend to be, or he's gonna go be a human, and he's dressed up in this ridiculous like armor. And Colin Robinson says, "Why are you dressed up as a Playmobil figure?" He's like, "This is how I used to dress as a human." And then Nadja reminds him that he's part of the Vampire-Council. We're gonna look like a bunch of fucking idiots if trying to pretend to be a human. And and Laszlo's just like, "You can't pretend to be a human, you knob."
I know. And Colin Robinson's going to take his room.
Yeah, and he leaves, and Guillermo's like very upset about it, and he's like, "Please, master, please don't go." And then eventually he pleads with him, and he says, "Will you please just make me a vampire before you go?" And because Nandor is in such a bad headspace, like he's like, I actually have some affection for you, Guillermo. But so I wouldn't want to impose this on you, even though it's all Guillermo wants.
I know, it's always wanted the whole show, the whole run of the show, and
and he even boops.
No, I wouldn't do this to you.
He boops him on the nose. Boop.
And I love when he walks out into the street, gets like almost hit by a car, and he's like, "Master, That's literally the first thing they teach you as a human
Yeah.
before you cross the street. I love that line. Yeah, it's literally the first thing they teach you. But yeah, so anyway, yeah, they come back and he's been there like a month and they don't even really, they're like, yeah, life hasn't really changed that much with Nandor gone.
And Lasso's like, since what's his name? And,
Yeah.
not just like, Nandor.
I think they say something about there's less like complaining around the house or something
It's
like
less,
that.
yeah, it's less weeping.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like they go back and yeah, like, oh, we're fucking. And then, but eventually Guillermo is like, well, I can't, I have to rescue him.
He's worried about him, and he goes into, yeah, because Colin Robinson's taken Nandor's room, and it's like he's, as an energy vampire, he's farting all over everything.
Yeah, like that's like his, like leaving his, mark or whatever, or his
And
scent.
Guillermo's like, there must be a clue, and he's like, maybe this brochure left here, you idiot, or something.
Yeah, right. It's just perfect.
And then he's like, I'd wash
so
your
obvious.
hands because that has a lot of butt wind on it.
Butt wind. So weird.
Colin Robinson.
Oh, Colin Robinson. Yeah, so he goes to rescue him, and the fun thing about this episode is we get a lot of that, like, vampires can't be seen, their reflection is not visible in a mirror. So we get like a lot of that in this episode, and Guillermo starts like throwing them around because he wants to take them out, and you see like the wall get like crushed, but you don't see.
Yeah,
like,
there was fun.
yeah,
there was fun visuals with that, with the mirror thing.
it is very very funny. But yeah, I mean, obviously, but Nando doesn't really want to go. He's happy. It's a funny scene though. But yeah, we get to see Guillermo do his like vampire hunter thing, and
yeah, because like one of the vampires like opens up Guillermo's bag and like picks up the crosses and it burns him. He's like, no, I wasn't gonna do anything with those. They're just, how did those get in there or something?
Yeah, so it's pretty great. Like they take him out of there, but then so at the very end, I'm probably skipping over some details, but we got a whole other episode to cover here. But he rescues him, but we see at the very end, I think it's even in the credits, right? Jan.
Oh yeah, like the post-credit scene is funny.
Yeah. She's like, okay, this is it. We're human. We can go out. And then she leads them all out, and she opens the door but doesn't go out into the sun, and they all just run out and burn.
Yeah, much like the I was talking about the last time, much like when they were like in they showed some videotape of a vampire that convinced people there was a cure for the sun. So like one vampire after another just kept going out of this little camper into the sun, and they're like burning up. Like, why don't they stop when they see the first person burning out there?
Yeah, I don't get it. I guess they just believed. I don't know. It was weird.
They're dumb.
I guess they are. No. Very weird.
Those vampires in Jan's studio were kind of dumb.
Yeah,
I'm not saying she was. I'm just saying I think they were.
No, I think she knew exactly what she was doing. For some reason, she wanted them all dead. I think she knew.
Like she easily outsmarted that. Like, it's kind of like a like evil in that way,
Yeah.
Like,
oh, definitely very evil. So, but yeah, that was sort of the part one.
Yeah, and then, well, Guillermo, after he rescues him, he has to like kind of make sure that he's not brainwashed anymore.
Right.
And when he has him in the car, he put like silver rope in the seat belts.
Oh, right.
So that he couldn't get out.
Yeah, that's right.
But is that where we open at the
well, yeah, we open. He's in the prison of the same prison that Guillermo was in at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, in the basement. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're trying to kind of like, get him back, like reprogram him, I guess is the term they use. And he doesn't want to do it, but he says, I must take a super slumber.
Yeah,
Which
but there's funny stuff that happens down in the basement though, because he like really lays into his whole roommate situation. You know, like he's like, Laszlo, you're like one of the laziest vampires I've ever met, and Laszlo's of course just like, thank you. And he's like, you've never lifted hands because both hands are always occupied pleasuring yourself. And then and then he's like you guys, all you do is contradict me, and not just like, no, we don't. And Nadia, you always make fun of my romantic things, and she's like laughing as he's saying that. And then Colin's like, oh, do me next, do me. And he goes, I wouldn't even know your name if it wasn't for I wrote your name on a piece of paper that's been in my pocket for the past few years. And I was like, that is a cold insult. Cold. And Colin's like, oh yeah, this wasn't as fun as I thought it was going to be.
It's true. That's all, because that's their attempt at like an intervention or something. Yeah. But all they do, like, he just insults them all. It's really funny.
And then and I think he's especially mad at Guillermo for chasing him down.
Right, and taking him away, even though he doesn't know that he saved his life, because he would have, I assume, run into the sunlight with all the other idiots.
Or those two would have ended up, I don't know, just fucking more. But
I guess
the rest of the vampires.
Yeah.
I still, for some reason, if I picture that situation, if he was with Jan still, he would just like go off and have his own coven with Jan that would just be weird and like pretend to be humans. But maybe, eventually he would step out in the sun, just like in a dumb way.
Right. If he really thought he was human, you know?
Yeah.
So he decides he's going to take a super slumber, which Nadia and Laszlo tell us is like, you cannot tell the vampire not to do this, but it can last 50 or 100 years or even 500 years or whatever. But you, most of the time, you wake up and everyone you knew is gone. They've left you behind or whatever. So it's basically like starting over your life as a vampire. So like he's gonna do it. Like once he goes to sleep, he's gonna do his slumber and just never wake up. So, apparently, you can't tell them, no, don't do that. It's some sort of vampire code where you just have to stick to it.
You just have to, you gotta let your friend. It's like that's my friend Spock over there. He's going through Ponfar. He's just got to do it. Just let him do his thing. It's a natural thing. There's nothing we can do to stop it.
Yeah.
Wow, he's humping that pillow. He's humping that Star Trek pillow that's shaped like a hand with doing the Vulcan symbol. That's weird.
It's Ponfar. You gotta just
Ponfar. Just let him do it.
Let's
get another pillow. Just order one now.
It lasts every few years, apparently. I don't know. Ponfar. Yeah. So it's just one of those things. It's just like that. Meanwhile, it's Colin Robinson's 100th birthday. So that's going on.
Yeah, and the only person that cares or knows or keeps mentioning it is Laszlo.
It's true, yes. And there's that is key to later on. But there's also, they're going to get a visit too. So we get Kristen Shaw shows up, and she says that some ancient vampires are coming to just check them out.
Like the global vampire. Right. It's so funny because, that's probably the same vampire, the supreme whatever one. We'll have to look at the wiki to see who's on what, but it's probably the same one that Viago and Blade are in, right?
Right. Well, they do mention. Well, they mention Blade, which is I think the best part, because Donald Logue, the actor who appeared in Blade, said he went and became a vampire.
He the whole lifestyle really appealed to me. I jumped in after that. He's like, I'm the real deal, and he shows his fangs. But also, I've been enjoying. Well, it's over now, but he was Harvey Bullock on Gotham, and he was like really awesome on that show.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. I stopped Gotham, before that. I guess before he came on, but yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous that he's. At first, I was like, "Wait a minute, what?"
Oh, and also, Nadia does the same thing she did with Scott Bakula, who she's like calls him Quinn because it's like his character in the movie. I think she's like, "Oh, everybody knows it's Quinn the Mighty," and then she's like, Donald Logue's just like, "No, that's actually the name of the character I played in Blade, but I really like the vampire thing."
Yeah, I went in. And we also have David Cross.
Oh, that's so funny.
He is. I was like, because he looks so different. I mean, you can tell his voice.
Yeah,
and
yeah, of course.
Oh God, David Cross. So funny. Dominicus. Dominicus the Dreadful or whatever. I mean, just he's got this ridiculous costume on. He looks so funny, and he's got like a human, like young lady with him.
Yeah, like a familiar girlfriend.
Yeah.
He keeps me young. It's like he's just being like the creepy old man with like the young girlfriend. Right. And she's like, we're engaged to be engaged. And Christian Shaw's just like, you're never gonna get his money. He's never gonna die. And she's like, you can't tell me whatever.
Yeah,
she's like completely in denial. Or she's hypnotized by him. Who knows?
Right,
maybe
he's
not only is he a vampire, but he is David Cross, and I've seen him do stand-up, and hypnotizing is a word that I would use to describe it.
Oh, her name is Coco, by the way, too, which I think is just a great. But yeah, it's kind of he's kind of like we don't really. He's like, oh, you got a human? He's like, yeah, we'll just keep it. He's kind of. And also Contessa Carmilla de Mornay is the other vampire that comes. She's
and there's like other random vampires that they show in the background at the park, or they're like maybe they were invited. Now I remember that Laszlo said he invited some vampires. So there's like non-speaking line vampires, maybe even just one guy. But maybe I'm thinking like he kind of fills out that table that Colin Robinson's sitting at, because everybody's walking around. It's tough to tell how many vampires are actually there.
Yeah, I think he is. I think it was for the birthday party because like you said, he's the only one. He keeps saying like, and they're here, because Nadia's all nervous because she wants to impress them.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, and also we're celebrating Colin Robinson's birthday.
And then Colin is like, and Colin is all like, oh, I have to share it with this. Like he's mad.
Right. So they're. Like they ask, whoa, where's Nandor? And he's like, oh, or whatever. Do they ask? Oh yeah, and she says, oh, I killed him.
Right. She made it seem like she was a big badass and she killed him.
Right.
To get these people to leave or whatever.
Well, he was undermining her, and they're actually impressed. They're like, oh, good for you, But then this part gets a little weird to me. They want to see him, which is fine. I mean, okay, so vampires want to see the dead vampire, but then they go. Well, first of all, Guillermo goes to. This is, I skipped over because a couple times Guillermo wakes him up and says, "You have to come and just be seen by these people," And he's like, "No way!" And every time Guillermo comes, like, I don't know, Nandor is so funny. He's like, is this that shit about making you a vampire again? Like,
yeah, and the first time he's like, oh my God, you look awful. The years have not been kind to you, because he thinks he's been asleep for 100 years. Yeah. He's like, actually, it's been 20 minutes. And the other time it's like 2 hours or something.
Right. He's like, you've been asleep for half an hour. Yeah. He's like, oh, Guillermo. Yeah, I know. So funny. And he's like, are you shitting me? That's like that's like my favorite. The way he always says, are you shitting me? But yeah, he don't do it. He doesn't care anymore. So that's why she has to tell them that she killed him. But then so they go to the coffin and he's like, just pretend you're dead or whatever, I guess. And he says, like, what if I just pretend? So like he pretends he's dead. But then they want to touch his crotch. They want to touch his schlong because apparently he had like a
and all the vampires, Donald Logue, the Contessa, David Cross, are like, we heard he has a big member.
Yeah.
And they're all like, yeah, let's check it out. Like,
I know. Meanwhile, he's just lying there. He's not dead. He's like, he's just. So like they are like, oh, and they're not impressed, which is the other funny thing. They're kind of just like, oh. Yeah.
And David Cross he's trying. He's like feeling it and like, what is the word? Pliable, mushiness. Yeah. So funny.
Yeah, they're not, and he's like, well, I mean, he's like he's dead. He's not gonna get aroused.
They were kind of like, yeah, it wasn't that impressive.
Yeah, they're not.
Guillermo's really like he was. I always thought that Nandor was a grower, not a shower.
Yeah, more of a grower. Yeah. It's so funny. Like, anyway, it's weird but like I guess it's just to sort of embarrass Nandor because he's not really dead.
Yeah.
So like when he goes back to Guillermo goes back to the coffin later, and he's like, "Are you bringing more people to to touch my crotch now or whatever?" I don't remember the line, but he's like, "What are you doing now, Guillermo? You got more people to?" And then he's like, "So all right," but I'm skipping around here. But so yeah, Laszlo is trying to get the birthday party thing going, and then he finally, when Colin Robinson's not in the room, he finally reveals that apparently energy vampires, he found out when they were doing research, energy vampires
did do like a clever, like we commented on this scene when they did the little flashback, and I don't know if they refilmed it or they just showed it from a different angle or something, but like, they did a flashback of when Laszlo pulled the page out of this book. We all thought it was so that he could jerk off, but it was really because it had some energy vampire stuff in it. He didn't want Colin to see it.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy that they called all the way back to like the second episode or whatever it was. Yeah, and so apparently it says energy vampires only live 100 years, and they just die on their. And this is his 100th birthday, and he would die on his 100th birthday.
And like Laszlo had given him a speech, I don't really like the guy, but I'm honored to call him my friend. Like, it was a really heartfelt, backhanded speech that only the way that Laszlo can.
Yeah, exactly. But it's kind of funny because he kind of explains. We were just like, oh, look, the buddy movie with Colin Robinson and Laszlo. But he was kind of explaining that he was doing that to sort of make the last couple months or whatever of his life, enjoyable.
Right.
So it's Laszlo. Hey, he's all right. But they kind of, I love the little montage of all like the things that they've been doing.
Like him catching him on fire, running him over the car, flying away from the siren bird lady.
The weird chicken lady. Yeah. Like, yeah, killing those people on that boat, just dumping them in the water. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty funny. It's kind of it's a fun explanation. Not fun for Colin Robinson, but yeah. So anyways, they're like, oh, okay, so like once, like this is it. So they want to have a nice party for him. But he's not feeling well. Colin Robinson is because he's starting to.
Yeah, because after the dinner party, there's a fuck show in the other room. You can take your clothes off when you get there. We've laid that out for you. They also had a blood bouquet, and they had somebody serving wine or blood to people. And Donald Logue's like, may I? And he's like, oh, that's what they're there for. And he just grabs the waiter and starts chopping of him. And then he passes them around. Everybody have a sip. He's delicious. Yeah,
just a sip.
But anyways, it reminds me of in the movie when Biagos knocks on Jemaine Clement's door, and like he opens it up, and there's like, you see like a wild like threesome, foursome orgy,
right?
In the blankets and stuff. Like, that's probably what they had going on in the living room,
right?
But so Colin Robinson goes by and he's like, I'm gonna skip the fucking suck show. Just my tummy is not feeling too good. I'm gonna 23 skidoo and take a nap. Yeah.
I know, but you know, they know that it's probably why he's not feeling well. So yeah, they go down to his room, or what, you know, I guess, or whatever room it is, whatever his room is. Either it's the Nandor's old room or whatever.
No,
but
it's his, like old,
his old basement room, right?
Yeah.
And they're kind of they're trying to tell him like, oh, he always like, but I like it. He's like, I think I can rally. I don't know. Like he's like, I feel a little better.
But you hear his stomach the whole time, and everybody's like doing the like, ooh, like moving their like waving their hands because it smells
Sounds
like
like
farts. But it's not even farts. He's like, you know,
right. He's
gross
dying.
In there. He's dying.
Yeah. So finally, they get Nandor. Guillermo gets Nandor to come down to the room to say goodbye to Colin Robinson, and Nandor gives this like sort of I don't care, I never about you speech.
He's like, he says that he did this to them 5 times before. That he said that he was dying 5 other times before. The last time they dug him up in the backyard.
Oh, right.
And he wasn't dead then, so he's like, why am I gonna fall for this?
But he like goes to like pat him on the head, or I don't even know, like is he just kind of like,
it's like kind of smacking him around, like you would be like, wake up.
And he just his head just caves in, and it's just like
he pushes his hand like all the way into his
it's just
head,
his whole face just like
it's like gross juice on the inside. It's not like bone or flesh.
I know,
it's not like it's just like it's like Slimer, or it's like, you know, if you have a nosebleed and there's a lot of pollen outside, it's like green and red. It's like Christmas.
Oh, and and it's just like, and he's like, oh shit, like it just like, So I mean, like that's, what is that? Is that the end of Colin Robinson?
I don't know.
Like, what the fuck? There's one more episode.
He's gonna be the last episode, unless they do part 3, like the funeral for Colin Robinson. And I think it's correct me if the record will show whether I'm right or not. I think it's gonna be some sort of a trickery, body double magic thing, or some sort of like they bury him in the backyard, but then he comes back to life. Like he's just gonna come back to life like magically, maybe even without explanation. It would be cool if they did the sitcom thing and he was just like alive next week.
Well, the episode, according to IMDb, the episode is called "The Portrait," and the housemate, it just says the housemates grieve the loss of one of their own, but that doesn't really tell you anything. But like, I don't know. I feel like there's some kind of vampire magic thing they can do to bring him back.
Like something that they don't understand about energy vampires is maybe you're like Doctor Who and you like regenerate or something, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it could be, but obviously they have another season. They've already signed up season 4. I doubt they would do it without Colin Robinson.
Or if it's like a clone situation or something, or like, who knows?
I mean, they have to have him on it. He's too good.
Yeah, but, I mean, we're dealing with the undead and natural powers, and you know, the Baron came back. The Baron's back.
That's right, and the sire. Well, no, the sire was. Yeah, he didn't die, but like, yeah. I mean, I think if the Baron could come back,
it's fiction. Okay, it's fiction.
Yeah,
you can do whatever they want.
I just. How are they going to do it? They're going to write something.
I think
they got to write something good.
Yeah, I think it's going to be not good, but just dumb.
Really?
Yeah.
Dumb.
Just like that he was like playing a trick on them or something. I don't know.
Maybe. Donald Logue will be back, so I don't know if he has anything to do with it, but he's in the credits for next.
Oh, that's funny.
Next episode.
For the next episode.
Yeah.
Maybe they stuck around for the funeral or something.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe he's still having his fucking suck show up there, and you know.
Yeah, but also, I mean, Nandor's up and walking around, so he's gonna run into Donald Logue.
Yeah, I guess. Oh.
We'll have to see, won't we?
We'll have to wait and see. It'll be exciting. The season finale.
Yeah.
But
went by so quick.
Yeah, so we're gonna wrap it all up. Oh man. That's all that
Penultimate episode. That was the penultimate episode.
That was a good one. I really like that one. So yeah, that's all we got for this one. Right? Do you have any other final thoughts?
Final thoughts, just looking forward to the finale and R.I.P. Colin Robinson.
R.I.P. Colin Robinson. So check us out, as we said earlier, leaguepodcast.com or Stitcher, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And if you're on
Search
Apple,
for Vampire Council on Facebook if you're there. Join our group.
Sure, join our group. And leave us a review if you're on one of those places where they let you leave reviews.
Great.
So, great. Thanks for listening, everybody. And we'll talk to you later. Are you ready? Are we going to do 3, 2, 1? Are you ready?
Wait.
Sorry.
Hold on.
Do it
3,
later?
2, 1, bat? Are we going to
Yeah,
bat?
No.
We were going to do another podcast. I was like, you're just going to end it like that? And there were 3, 2, 1, the new podcast? Like, I think I need a reset.
Sorry.
I think a 3, 2, 1 bat. Yeah, well, that'll be a good reset.
Okay.
Okay. You count it down.
All right. 3, 2, 1, bat!
Bat!
That's all right.
That was a good one.
I thought I was a little too quick.
No.
Okay.
Don't worry.
It's okay.
About
3, 2,
we'll
1,
fix
bat!
it in post.
Yeah,
I always take all the other bats and put them like it's like gang vocals now.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
Yes, good idea. All right.
Later, you fucks.
Later.
It's one of the hardest guitar pieces in the world to play. It's one of the hardest guitar pieces in the world to play.